me? For real? Oh. You can call from the Bahamas using Rev Boy's prepaid home phone service and prepaid chat cards for much less.
Hey girl, are you ready?
You get free unlimited on-island calls, voicemail, and no internet service or ID is required.
Hello?
Rev Boy's prepaid home phone service and prepaid chat cards.
Hey, vai bien.
Staying in touch never sounded so good.
Good evening, Bahamas. This is NB12 broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios on Robinson Road. Here's what's making news tonight. Nema begins its official flood assessments. Family members of the Whit Monday murder victims call for peace as some of the men believed to be responsible for their deaths are arraigned. The airport gateway project nearing completion, plus NSA officials pleased with last night's soccer match. Those stories and much more on the way. I'm Nakia DeVoe and NB12 starts right now. Thanks again for joining us here at NB12. Inspection teams from the National Emergency Management Agency began official assessments of areas adversely impacted by severe thunderstorms today amid harsh criticism over government's response to widespread flooding. While some affected residents were happy to speak with officials, others weren't so welcoming. NEMA's director says he intends to recommend an exigency order that will enable impacted families to replace items destroyed during the storm. He also responded to the opposition leader's assertion that both the Prime Minister and NEMA weren't proactive enough. Vonning Toot reports.
Unfazed by suggestions from the Free National Movement and members of the public that NEMA dropped the ball following this week's storm, officials visited impacted areas today to assess the damage. They began with Pinewood Gardens, which experienced massive flooding. About 70 representatives from various government agencies formed 15 teams, then headed on to flooded streets like Sapodilla, Jacaranda, and Pigeon Plum. Today's exercise marked the beginning of NEMA's official flood assessment. It's something the agency has been heavily criticized for by F&M leader Dr. Hubert Minnis, who claims government did not take a proactive approach. However, NEMA's director, Captain Stephen Russell, says he's taken it in stride.
I heard the minister's comments, and not politically, I heard his comments, and I draw what I could out of his comments with a view of how we can improve the agency. So in terms of the politics of it, I'm not over concerned with. I'm listening to a leader's comments. Just like one of the other talk show hosts, when he spoke to me, he said, I have a criticism, and I heard his criticism with a view of taking into consideration.
Wilhelmina George is one of several residents officials met with. She's lived on Jacaranda Street for 19 years, but says she no longer has flood insurance because she stopped making payments more than 7 years ago. She has no idea how she'll replace her damaged furniture.
Like the front room set and my bed got wet up, and the front room set got wet. I mean, they smell. I need to throw them out.
And are you hoping government will provide some sort of assistance so you can replace those items?
I feel so. They might do it. I don't know.
And you mentioned you don't have insurance anymore because you... Tell us about that.
I don't have insurance anymore because things have get bad with me, so I had to collapse the insurance because only me one was working at the time.
And she's not alone. Cascarilla Street resident Colette Joseph is hoping government will help her replace her bedroom sets.
I need my bedroom sets, my furniture on the front door, front room, everything mixed up. My daughter room, everything mixed up. My son, everything mixed up. Clothes, all them wet, no good.
After assessments are complete, Captain Russell says he will recommend that government issue an exigency order to help residents replace furniture and vehicles.
From what I'm seeing in terms of furniture damage, that is something we would highly recommend. A number of vehicles, likewise flood damage. Again, that is another area we'll make recommendations to the government. Consider persons who have a desire to replace their vehicles to grant them the duty exemptions. like we've been doing with Hurricane Sandy and the other ones, make the recommendations. Once we get the data from this assessment today, either tomorrow, a team from Nema, we will start looking at the data and seeing what are the common needs, and we will quickly make recommendations to get to satisfy those needs as soon as possible.
While most residents welcomed NEMA officials into their homes today, this angry Plain Street resident who simply identified herself as Jane says it's too little, too late.
Because I have more clothes in my house. The back room is soaking wet. Everything in there is wet. Shoes, everything is being destroyed. They talking about giving the people money. Yeah, the financial help is good. But I think that the first thing they should have done was come and make sure that the street, clear the drains so the water can go down. People be able to sweep the water out their house. How could you sweep the water out your house when you can't even open your door? We haven't seen that one MP. Not one of them came around and say, how's everything? Everything is okay? What is your most concern? None of them came.
Russell says some people were not home when assessment teams stopped by.
And we hope to bring back at some point in time to make sure persons who are not home, who were not able to meet at this time, we can really follow up on their needs.
NEMA officials also plan to visit affected areas next week. Reporting for NB12, I'm Vonique Toot.
Well, Pinewood Member of Parliament Kayla's Roll, who accompanied NEMA officials today, took exception to some residents' claims that he did not visit his constituency following Tuesday night's torrential downpour to find out how families were coping. In fact, he says when the House of Assembly convened at 10 o'clock on Wednesday morning, he was in his constituency.
NEMA had a team prepared. We were on the ground at 10 a.m. We did the initial assessment where we drove around Pinewood and we spoke to residents to get an understanding of how much damage had occurred. The rain came down. We had to cut that assessment short, I think at around 4 o'clock. I left Pinewood after it started to rain. I went to the House of Assembly to brief the Prime Minister on what I had discovered and came back here at about 6 o'clock.
And he says he's been in Pinewood every day since then. The cabinet minister says he is also committed to spending tens of thousands of dollars from his MP's allowance and his own pocket to help his constituents replace desperately needed items. Roll says he also asked businesses to make donations.
I'll commit some personal funds to it. I'll also get some donations. And I was also on the phone the morning after with the BHA asking Atlantis. I told Frank Camilo I need him to contact Atlantis and all of their members to see if there are furniture that they have available that we may be able to get. So we're proactive. The problem is it ain't gonna happen automatically. It's a process that you go through, and we'll be in a position shortly to provide some of the relief that people need.
Are we talking thousands?
Yes. The quote that I got for 100 bedding was $34,000 already. So we're looking at a significant commitment.
Well, as NEMA officials went door to door in Pinewood, urban renewal officers, pastors, and guidance counselors walked through Camp Road this afternoon in hopes of reaching out to family members of the two men who were gunned down on Whit Monday. With tears in their eyes, the mother of 17-year-old Audric Telsuma and the aunt of 40-year-old Amadi Knowles talked about the horrifying last moments of their loved ones' lives. They're now calling for peace in the neighborhood.
What would you like to see happen in this community?
I'd like to see a change.
Knowles' aunt Melzora Bowe told reporters that she witnessed the entire incident and watched her nephew get shot and then fall right at her feet. Knowles was rushed to hospital where he later died. She said it has been a difficult few days for family members who no longer feel safe in their own homes. She told us that several children were in the yard playing when she claims 6 masked men pulled up in a white truck and started shooting on Monday, May 20th.
The first in the front seat jumped out and they went around shooting. Then the other said cut. I never off. And they started shooting them, and then was a little guy who was on another port, a 17-year-old one, who they shoot, gun down, he shoot him in the head. These are innocent, the two of them is innocent children. But I said, man, I did see my nephew coming out of the bush bleeding. I hauled for him because I know he was in the making. I see how they shoot him from back on. And they hear the tear open. I see that again, I jump down there, I can't sleep again. When I come outside, there's pitchy blood and everything in the yard.
Mary Saunders told us that she was feet away from her son when he was shot to death standing on the front porch. She said the 17-year-old was set to graduate from R.M. Bailey High School in just 2 weeks. Saunders broke down as she explained that her son was a normal mischievous teenage boy, but not a bad person, and she still asks why God took him away from her so soon.
I love him so much. Every day me hear him row. Every day me hear him row. I still love him. He say, oh, I know you love me. I say you love me to thief my things. That's it. I want God keep him for me, please. I want God help him for me, please. I said I want God to. I want God help him for me.
Residents are calling for more police presence and an end to the violence. Members of the Northeastern Pastors Alliance prayed for the grieving families as guidance counselors spoke with the children. Superintendent Stephen Dean said the force hopes to restore their confidence in police with the walkabout, and officers are sending a strong message to criminals.
We need your peace to overshadow her, God, and to comfort her.
We declare that no weapon, no demon that is formed against this nation shall prosper.
There is a spiritual need of pastors getting involved, being a part of our communities, coming outside of the four walls and engaging the community at this level.
Because sometimes incidents cause the trust to be eroded between the police and our leaders in our country. So we came here to reassure them that we will continue to protect them. And, we want to give this clarion call, this message out to the criminal elements who continue to believe they can come and take advantage of some of our citizens and residents in the community, that it will not happen.
Well, 2 men believed to be involved with that double murder in Camp Road were today charged in a magistrate's court. 18-year-old Carlin Roll of Price Street, seen in the orange shirt, and 22-year-old Sean Higgs of Peardale, seen in the red and white, appeared before Chief Magistrate Roger Gomez, charged with intentionally and unlawfully causing the murder of Amadi Knowles and Audric Talisma. The pair was further charged with the attempted murder of Anthony Roach, Leonardo Wilson, and Arlington Stubbs, and the possession of a Spikes tactical rifle and 6 live rounds of ammunition. Today, Gomez explained that Roll and Higgs will not be eligible for bail. They will return to court on June 27th for service of a voluntary bill of indictment. Roll was represented by attorneys Ian Cargill and Devard Francis. Well, another man was shot in Camp Road today, this time by police. Authorities were chasing a suspect when he allegedly pulled out a weapon. But residents say police got the wrong guy. Police say they shot an armed robbery suspect off Camp Road, and at last report he was in critical condition in hospital.
Who was in the company of another male where they attempted to take this suspect into custody. The suspect then put up a struggle with the officers and produced a firearm, discharging it at the officers, and ran. The officers gave chase and encountered the suspect again down here at this dead end, where there was again an exchange of gunfire between both of them. This suspect was shot multiple times by the officers to his lower extremities, and he was transported to hospital in critical condition.
Officer in charge of the Central Detective Unit, Superintendent Paul Roll, said it all happened after 10 a.m. when officers from the Mobile Division and Northeastern Division were in the Williams Lane area in search of 2 suspects.
After he was on the neighbor porch, the inspector came and he started to run in the back of the shop. And as he reached down from the shop, the inspector reached him. He came and he threw him down on the ground. After he threw him on the ground, he shot him in his leg.
Some of the young boys just don't like the police to see them because they don't like to be harassed.
Yeah, they just want to take it off.
Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on. I love the police, and I tell the police I love them. Right now, I just work with the police, but that was an innocent child who they shot this morning. There was 2. The person who they wanted it run the next way, and then they run behind that little boy.
Superintendent Roll said they're still searching for a second suspect who was able to elude officers. Police don't know who they're looking for, but promise to release a bulletin once they have an identity. Some residents in the area told the media the shooting is a case of mistaken identity.
even if he was not the person that was responsible, he's still walking around with a firearm in his possession, which he had the nerves and pull on the officers, and should be thankful that he's still alive.
Residents also accuse police of using excessive force. Investigations continue.